The distress beacon pulsed weakly from Sector 7Q, a region of space so remote that most Galactic Council vessels wouldn't bother answering. But Mina Calder wasn't most vessels. Her ship, the Mercy's Hand, was a converted freighter retrofitted with medical bays, dental equipment, and enough spare parts to fix anything from a broken bone to a malfunctioning translator chip. Another one, she muttered, adjusting her course. Her voice was soft, almost melodic, the kind that could calm a panicking patient in the middle of surgery. She'd learned long ago that tone mattered more than words when you were elbow deep in someone's biology. The beacon originated from a small transport pod drifting near an asteroid field. Mina brought her ship alongside and engaged the docking clamps. Through the viewport, she could see movement inside. Something small, writhing in what looked like pain. "Let's see what we've got," she said to herself, grabbing her field kit. The airlock hissed open and Mina stepped into chaos. The pod's interior was scorched, wires hanging from the ceiling like metallic vines. And there, huddled in the corner, was an emberkin. Mina had heard of them, dragon-like beings from the volcanic worlds of the Pyros cluster, covered in scales that shimmered like cooling lava. This one was young, barely larger than a retriever, with wings folded tight against its body and smoke curling from its nostrils. Its scales were a deep crimson with flecks of gold, and its eyes, brilliant amber, were wide with terror. "Easy now," Mina said, her voice dropping to that soothing register. She knelt slowly, making herself smaller, less threatening. "I'm not here to hurt you," the emberkin hissed, a sound like steam escaping a pressure valve. It backed further into the corner, claws scraping against metal. Mina noticed the way it held its jaw at an odd angle, the slight tremor in its movements. She'd seen that before, dental pain. "Severe dental pain. Your tooth is bothering you, isn't it?" she asked gently. "Let me take a look." The creature, Bram according to the registration chip she'd scanned, let out a pitiful whine. Its translator flickered to life, damaged but functional. "Human, you fix?" "That's what I do," Mina replied. "Come here, little animal. I'm going to help you." It took 20 minutes of coaxing, a few protein bars from her emergency rations, and a demonstration on her own teeth before Bram allowed Mina to approach. Even then, the young dragon trembled as she opened her field kit. "Open up," she instructed softly. "Let me see what we're working with." Bram's jaw opened with obvious reluctance, revealing rows of crystalline teeth that glowed faintly with internal heat. Most species would have recoiled at the sight, or the temperature. Mina's scanner read 340 degrees Celsius. She simply pulled on heat-resistant gloves. "There it is," she murmured, spotting the problem immediately. One of the molars was cracked, the fracture leaking plasma that had hardened into a painful crystalline mass. The infection had spread to the surrounding tissue, which explained the fever and distress. "That's gotta come out," Mina said matter-of-factly. "It's going to hurt for a moment, but then you'll feel much better." "I promise," Bram's eyes widened in horror. Pull tooth, but humans are soft, weak. "How you—" "Steady hands," Mina interrupted, flexing her fingers. "And experience. I've extracted teeth from Krellin warriors, Vosh miners, even a Titan weight once. You're small compared to them." She smiled. "You'll be fine." The dragon looked unconvinced, but the pain was clearly overriding its fear. It settled down, wings drooping. Mina worked quickly. First came the local anesthetic, a modified formula she'd developed for heat-resistant species. Then the extraction tool, calibrated for crystalline density. She positioned herself carefully, one hand steadying Bram's jaw while the other worked. "Deep breath," she instructed. "In 3, 2, 1, the tooth came free with a sharp crack followed by a spray of superheated plasma that Mina's face shield deflected harmlessly. Bram roared, more in surprise than pain, smoke billowing from its nostrils. "There we go," Mina said calmly, holding up the extracted tooth. It still glowed orange. "See? All done." "You were very brave." Bram blinked, tongue exploring the empty socket. The pain, the constant aching, burning pain, was gone. The young dragon looked at Mina with something like awe. "Human fix," it whispered. "Human fix dragon." 2 hours later, Bram was curled up in one of the Mercy's Hand's cargo bays, which Mina had converted into a makeshift recovery room. The infection was clearing, the fever dropping, and the young emberkin was finally sleeping peacefully. Mina sat in her captain's chair, updating her medical logs. Another successful procedure. Another life stabilized. Her communicator chimed. A priority message from the Galactic Medical Council. She opened it, expecting another routine update. Instead, she found herself staring at a commendation notice. For extraordinary service in xenobiological medicine, demonstrating the adaptability and compassion that exemplifies the human spirit. Field Medic Mina Calder is hereby recognized. She closed the message without finishing it. Recognition was nice, but it wasn't why she did this. A soft chirp drew her attention. Bram had woken up, peeking around the doorway with uncertain eyes. "How are you feeling?" Mina asked. "Better," Bram replied, the translator working more smoothly now. "Human is kind of strange, soft body but strong. Fix what others cannot." Mina smiled. "We fix what needs fixing. That's all." The young dragon padded closer, scales clicking against the deck. Emberkin elders say humans are dangerous. Say humans conquer, destroy, make war. We can do those things, Mina admitted. But we can also do this. She gestured to the medical bay, to the equipment, to the care she'd provided. We choose what we want to be. Bram considered this, then did something unexpected. The dragon pressed its warm snout against Mina's hand, a gesture of trust among its kind. "Thank you, human Mina," it said, "for fixing little dragon." Mina's expression softened. "Anytime, Bram, anytime." 3 days later, Mina delivered Bram to a emberkin transport that had responded to her message. The adult dragons were massive, their scales like molten armor, and they regarded Mina with deep suspicion, until Bram bounded forward, chattering excitedly in its native language, pointing at Mina with obvious admiration. The lead dragon, an ancient female with scars across her wings, approached Mina slowly. She leaned down, her breath hot enough to warp the air. "You healed our young?" "I did," Mina confirmed. The dragon studied her for a long moment. Then, with great deliberation, she lowered her head in respect. "Humans are strange," she rumbled. "Small, fragile, yet you fix what we cannot. You care for what we thought beneath notice." A pause. "Perhaps the galaxy has underestimated your kind." Mina simply nodded. "We're full of surprises." As the Mercy's hand pulled away, Mina caught one last glimpse of Bram. Waving enthusiastically from the transport's viewport, she waved back, already plotting her course to the next distress beacon. There were always more teeth to fix, more creatures to help, more proof that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't violence, it was care.